Hello and good day, Mike Adcock with Worldwide Tropical Outlook for today, the 16th of August, 2013. This information is valid through 9 Zulu. Do have quite a few areas that we're tracking today, as you can see from this map. So we're going to quickly touch over them all. We'll start from the west, work our way east. First off with Tropical Depression Utor, still spinning there in southern China. You can see here on the multispectral imagery, just continuing to dump showers and thunderstorms over the same region of China that's been dealing with numerous tropical cyclones through July and August. So more rainfall. Will continue to monitor the situation there. Could be dealing with more flooding concerns. But at 6 Zulu, JMA placed the center about 25 kilometers southeast of Yucatan, China. It's pretty stationary, as you can see from satellite here. It is slowly, though, starting to fill, and this is really being tracked only through the surface analyses from the Japanese Meteorological Agency. Again, 3 tropical depressions in the West Pac. So here's our second one. JMA is issuing advisories on this one. Tropical Depression A, also being tracked by JTWC as 98W. At 9 Zulu, it was about 340 kilometers east of Sanmin, Taiwan, 30 knots, gusting to 45, and that's mainly with this blow up of convection to the southeast of the circulation. You can see that circulation is pretty naked, so it is moving pretty stationary rather, 1,002 hectopascal. The thing that we're going to have to keep an eye on, and you can see the outer edges of the other tropical depression, they are in pretty close proximity. So usually when you get 2 tropical cyclones this close to each other, they begin to do a Fujiwara effect. That's where the 2 cyclones rotate around each other cyclonically along a common midpoint. So for instance, you have this tropical cyclone, the other tropical cyclone. Well, it's going to rotate cyclonically along that midpoint. So we would imagine that this cyclone would be moving westward while this cyclone would move eastward. We'll get into that in a second. Here's the official JMA track forecast. You can see the track does have it moving off to the east, and that's pretty much in line with the models. Continuing off to the east slowly. It is in a pretty stagnant pattern with that high pressure generally across the area. So a slow drift off to the east, dancing in concert with the other tropical depression. Right now, do have the intensity guidance really doesn't intensify a whole lot. That being said, JMA does expect it by tomorrow morning, 0 Zulu, to become a tropical depression, or tropical storm rather. So we'll continue to monitor this one. I'd like to see a little more convection over the center of circulation. Honestly, I'm a little I think they're being a little too generous with a tropical depression call, but nonetheless, we'll see how it does play out over the next couple of days. We should see some strengthening, though. Here's our other tropical depression. Now, okay, this is the eastern one. You can see this western one here. You can already see the westward movement of this system with the eastward movement of the western system. So beginning to rotate across this, or around this common point here. 99W, JTWC's number here, is about 700 kilometers southeast of Okinawa, and it is moving to the west-northwest slowly. 1,002 for your pressure. Now they are not issuing advisories. JMA is not issuing advisories on this yet, but looking at the track guidance, a westward movement, brushing Okinawa come Sunday. We're going to continue to monitor this one, but it may be a factor for them. But right now, the model intensity guidance really doesn't show a significant amount of development. We'll see how it plays out, because honestly, with these weak systems, the models have a hard time really doing much of anything with it. Alright, so there's our 3 depressions in the Western Pacific. Now let's turn our attention over to the Central Pacific, where we have 2 developing systems. 91C, this is about 172 degrees west. So you still got about a day or so before it crosses the date line. Right now it's about 835 kilometers south-southwest of Johnston Atoll. It continues to become better organized, and you can see quite a bit of convection over the center of circulation. Really, it looks like a depression is forming. Based on that, it should get a C depression number, so 01 Charlie. It's going to continue moving west, though. Will it become a tropical storm prior to crossing the date line? It's going to be tough, considering that you have such little time left before it does cross. So probably will pick up a Western Pacific name, but nonetheless, looking at about an 80% chance at development. It's going to continue moving off to the northwest here, really just affecting some of the sporadic islands there as it does so. Model intensity guidance, some strengthening, like I said, should become a depression easily, and because it's almost there, and there is a possibility it could become a tropical storm, especially later on once it gets into the Western Pacific. Alright, a little bit further east is 90C. This is about 800 kilometers southeast of Johnston Atoll. 30 knots here, 1008. 60% chance also from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center at development. It has a little bit more time for it to be before it becomes a depression. It doesn't look as healthy as it did. Some of that convection has diminished a little bit, but nonetheless, still in a good environment. So there is a possibility for this to become a depression. And really looking at the same track, continued westward movement. If it does become a depression, it does have a little more time to possibly pick up a Central Pacific name. It's looking to cross that date line about 3 days time, so we'll see how that pans out. And there's your intensity guidance. Does show some strengthening. Neither one of these systems really look like they're going to be a major. Matter of fact, none of these systems across the globe are looking to be our next candidate to be a hurricane or a typhoon, for that matter. Alright, moving on to the Atlantic at this point. 92L. At 6 Zulu, it was there in the Yucatan Peninsula, about 45 kilometers west-southwest of Merida. 25 knots here, and it continues to move off to the northwest. 60% chance at development from the National Hurricane Center. Actually, you can see this center of circulation appearing to be over the Bay of Campeche now. Track guidance continues it in the northwesterly fashion. Northeastern Mexico, portions of Texas. Gonna have to keep an eye out on this one. Looks like those will be the best chances for development. In terms of the models, it does look like it's our it's our next best chance at becoming a named storm. But again, right now, not looking like it's going to be too favorable in terms of becoming a hurricane. Probably will run out of real estate. That being said, southern Gulf of Mexico or southwestern Gulf of Mexico, it is a hot spot for development, especially this time of year. So we could see some rapid development. So it is something we will need to keep an eye on over the next couple of days. And Tropical Storm Erin, 695 kilometers west of the Cape Verde Islands, 35 knots there, gusting to 45. Continues to move off to the west-northwest at 14. All the watches and warnings for the Cape Verde Islands have been dropped. Forecast track continues it kind of in a northwesterly fashion. By Saturday, moving into Sunday, Azores high starts to build in, and the westerly or the low-level flow kind of pushes it off more toward the west. And then starting your work week Monday, moving into Tuesday, it's going to start to drift off to the northwest as it enters a weakness in the subtropical ridge. To be quite frank, though, I doubt it makes it to Wednesday through the 5-day forecast here. It's starting to move into cooler waters, more stable, drier conditions. It's going to be a very similar pattern, it looks like anyway, as Dorian. It would not surprise me to see this become a tropical wave as it traverses the central Atlantic. Here's your model guidance again, just kind of recapturing what we've talked about from the NHC forecast. Northwesterly flow, the official the official NHC forecast is on the southern end here of the model suite, so we could see that actually being shifted more northward. The model guidance kind of all over the place. Actually, the official forecast is a little bullish in the near term for development. We'll see how much development it actually does get. Little out of sequence here, but do want to touch back on 92L. Do have the recon scheduled. The last one that came out actually had a plethora of missions, some NOAA missions, as well as surveillance, radar fixes. That's been scaled back significantly for this invest. Right now, just looking at Air Force Reserve doing a couple of fixed missions. First mission here, though, Teal 71 looks to go wheels up at 15:30 Zulu, and we'll spend a few hours there investigating this system. Teal 72, they're scheduled to take off on the 17th at 9:30, again for about 6 hours or so, and they're looking to continue 6-hourly fixes if the system does develop. We'll continue to see how this how the recon schedule goes. We actually should be getting a new recon schedule over the next few hours. May see some increased mission taskings. The Global Hawk RQ4, it is being moved from into position, so that may be a tasking as well. We'll continue to monitor that. And with that, that concludes our roundup for today. Of course, you can follow along with our 3 tropical depressions in the Western Pacific, as well as other Western Pacific analysis at westernpacificweather.com or on Twitter and Facebook. And of course, with all the tropical activity around the world, you can join in on the tropical discussion at storm2k.org. Make sure to follow me at Twitter, or on Twitter at Senior Pepper. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day and take care.